right, guys, so we're going to get into how to smart read, all right? So one of my mentors, Tai Lopez, says, the more you learn, the more you earn. He actually quoted Warren Buffett. So we're going to get straight into how to smart read. So most people don't know that most books, except for this book is gold all the way through, but most books only have one key concept, right? And the rest, they have to fill up with fluff, because obviously if they went to their publisher, okay, I want to publish a book this big with the gold content, they're not going to be able to do that. So they fill it up with stories, illustrations, and different things like that, guys. So essentially, I'm gonna teach you guys how I get into reading books and how I like to use my books the most effective, efficient, and enjoyable way. So let's get straight into it. So come over here, follow me over my shoulder. So essentially, we got the book, Think and Grow Rich. The first step that we do is we read the cover. So I read the title, the name, everything here. We read the front and the back. That's step number one, guys. So the next step that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna flip it open, and you're gonna read, I read the first couple of pages. So I'll read Think and Grow Rich. Okay, when was this book published? This gives you an idea as to kind of when the book was made, what point of view they're writing the words from, because, you know, in different times, different things are happening. So you gotta have that context, right? So then the next step that what you do is you read the content. Okay, so I read over, okay, introduction, desire, faith, autosuggestion. I read over, I kind of get an idea of what's inside the book. This is kind of like reading the menu. It's kind of like reading a menu when you go to a restaurant. Okay, what's inside the book? What do I feel like eating right now? So you can kind of look through and figure out, okay, what do I need help with? What do I need to solve in my life right now? So here's how I like to read, guys. I think of myself as a gold digger, right? Gold digger. So I imagine that the book is a gold mine. My goal is to pull one piece of gold nugget that I can apply to my life. See, I'm not just reading to read, guys. I'm reading so that I can learn something and then apply it to my life, and I can live a better life, live a more successful, happy, fulfilled life. So come back over here. We're gonna get into it. So the next step, like I said, you read the table of contents. Then what I do is I like to read usually the first chapter, the last chapter, and then after that, I kind of skim through the whole book. So I just kind of like skip through, kind of get an idea of what's inside the book, just kind of get an overview, flip through all the pages, get familiar with kind of the inside of the book. And just kind of flip through and kind of see what's inside. Sometimes different books will have different diagrams that are interesting. You guys kind of get an idea of that. So essentially go through that. Then what I do is as I'm flipping through, maybe something catches my eye. Maybe I'm struggling with desire. So maybe I'm struggling with desire. So maybe I'm struggling with that passion, that focus, so then what I do is I read that chapter. So then what I do is I read the chapter, and then that way I'm able to really look at a book and pick which chapter is going to serve me. And this only works for self-help books, obviously. If you're trying to read, you know, a novel or a fiction book, you're obviously going to want to read it start to finish. But with self-help books, I found that you're able to do that. So that's kind of how I smart read. And then the reason that's so powerful is that now you know the table of contents, you have an idea of what's inside. So now guess what? I only read one chapter today. I can go ahead, toss this back on the bookshelf, and then guess what? I still know what's inside this book. So maybe one of the table of contents, it said organized planning, right? So if I open it up, it said organized planning. So maybe I'm struggling to create plans in my business, right? So then I'll be like, oh, there's that book that I read, Think and Grow Rich, right? I can come back to this book and I can go to that chapter, and it's an instant mentor, instant guide on whatever problem I'm having in life. So it's important to invest in books because they're kind of like a point of reference, because you don't need to memorize the whole thing, right? Because as long as you know of the material, then you'll be able to know where to get it and, you know, the resources that you need. So as long as you have the resources that you can plug into, that's going to be the key, guys. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it. And with that being said, guys, love you guys all. God bless, and become the superhero of your own lives. Talk soon.